In Jackson's preschool years and early elementary years, he was performing well academically, but some of our teachers would give us feedback that attention sometimes was difficult for him, staying still for long periods of time. Sometimes he'd gravitate towards behavior that was disruptive or would be more influenced by the disruptive kids instead of really focusing on his schoolwork. And so, being concerned parents, we just wanted to pursue alternatives and see if there was anything, if medically from a attention deficit disorder, if that was a medical condition that Jackson had, and if it was something then that we should pursue and look for other medical alternatives in treating that. We were able to sit with him through the entire process. So we sat in a waiting room for a little while. Really the only medical piece of this was that an IV was placed in his arm, and then he sat in a chair, and we kind of sat in the corner while he sat in the chair, and a technician asked him some questions, kind of memory recall. He was asked a story. He was then asked to recall the story. A couple things with identifying colors and letters and things like that. But it was a very simple and painless procedure, certainly from a parent's perspective. Other than a little prick in the arm for the IV, it was a non-invasive procedure. He doesn't like needles, so he was a little anxious about getting poked in the arm. But other than that, there was definitely no side effects. It was very quick. I mean, we probably spent more time in the waiting room waiting to go into to have the procedure performed than the test itself, which maybe took 25 minutes. It was quick and very easy. So in Jackson's case specifically, they were able to determine that he did not have attention deficit disorder, which for me was a relief to know that some of the medical options, the stimulants and things like that, probably wasn't the best step for us to take. It also identified that Jackson probably had some difficulty from an auditory standpoint receiving hearing instructions. He was a much more of a visual learner and did a much better job if someone were to write things out for him as a way to explain or get a point across, as opposed to just talking to Jackson. It also, from a parent standpoint, was reassuring to know that as I'm standing in front of my son and explaining, in 5 minutes you need to turn the TV off, son, so you can get ready for bed. And when he doesn't listen to me, or what I perceived was him not listening to me, it wasn't necessarily him ignoring me or being defiant. Part of it was that for his age, he wasn't able to process instructions like that as well as maybe I as an adult or someone else at Jackson's age could. And so reassurance and for a parent to know that there was a reason for that, but also then it helped with some steps and some tools that we could use as parents to be more proactive and to help Jackson in ways that wouldn't be frustrating for either him or me as a parent. In addition to receiving the pictures, there was an explanation with each picture in layman's terms or common speak that we were able to read and to interpret on our own. And in addition, we were able to walk through the pictures with a medical professional who was able to answer our questions and to explain it in detail beyond just the pictures and the words there, or the typed words, what exactly these pictures meant. And one of my fears, whether it was well-founded or not, was my first alternative didn't want to be to rush out and use medicine as a choice. I would rather have that be a second or third or a fourth alternative, and to know that probably wasn't the first course of action here, and to have the SPEC scans as proof that wasn't the best approach was relieving to me, and it provides a little bit of certainty, which a lot of times when you're trying to diagnose behavior problems of an 8-year-old, it's very difficult even for the medical experts to be able to recommend the first course of action or the best treatment. I would recommend the test. I think as a parent you're always uncertain, and to only have one piece of data or to be able to only talk to one doctor and draw your conclusions from that is sometimes nerve-wracking and unsettling. You want to be able to reach out to multiple people to provide you with an added level of comfort, and the SPEC scans are one of those things that can help be objective testing that's not just an observation. It's hard evidence. You receive printouts and color pictures of your child's brain, which is comforting to know that there's another piece of analysis to back up or or maybe to contradict some of the observations that some of the other doctors who you might consult with, what they've noticed with your child.